Hello and welcome back to Broadside Game with me, Zug, and today we're taking a look at the Veteran again, and more specifically we're looking at the Recon las rifle. So this thing has gone through a few changes since patch 13. It was buffed, then it was nerfed, but it's still pretty good. They did gut it slightly, but it's gone from being stupidly overpowered to just being overpowered, so yeah, it still works. So we've got two ways of building this, and well, I'll show you both, and I'll show you why I prefer one way than the other. So the first way is we're taking most of the left-hand side with long shot, volley adept, the shredder frag grenade, into catch a breath, to survivalist, down here to opening salvo and executioner stance, and we're just going to jump over to the middle for a toughness damage reduction and the increased grenade. And then we're going to come down here and grab damage, range damage boost, dead shot, and shock trooper. Then onto the far right side, we're going to be growing duck and dive, riposticity, stamina regeneration, and onslaught for the rending, and then down the middle for tactical awareness, superiority complex, into confirmed kill, born leader, and rending strikes. So this has given us both rending talents and shock trooper for the increased ammo. The only problem with this is shock trooper doesn't actually work the way you think it does. It no longer gives you ammo on critical hits. Well, it no longer does not consume ammo on critical hits. There is an internal cooldown to it, and it just doesn't work very well. So this build works very, very well, but shock trooper no longer works how we think it does. And I'll give you an example. So we're running the pretty standard Headhunter Infernus build. The perks are just awful on this, so I wouldn't worry about those. If you, well, for perks, I'd probably go for 5% crit chance and damage to maniacs, or flak armor and maniacs. Any sort of combination of those perfectly usable. So either a crit chance, flak damage, and maniac damage. Use whichever you like, but blessings are pretty hard on this. Well, pretty locked in. You want Headhunter and Infernus. So this should give us a big pile of crit. And then the stacking dot on crit. But if you watch the ammo, it's still pretty much draining. It's draining quite quickly, and far quicker than it really should do if it says it doesn't consume ammo on critical hit. So it's a bit of a problem. And the problem is, do we want to spend these 3 points to get down to shock trooper, or do we want to spend them somewhere else to possibly complement this gun? So the gun is very, very, very good at killing everything, and including carapace, but I mean, you are having to dump most of your mag out to kill them. But it does work, not as well as it should. So we do have an alternative, which is this. So we're coming down the middle instead of going over through long shot. Close order drills, demolition team, crack grenade instead of shredder grenade, the health boost into grenade tinkerer for the increased crack grenade damage. We're still picking up survivalist for the replenish 1% ammo for you and your allies in coherency whenever you kill an elite or specialist. And instead of going through execution stance, we're coming through the middle, increasing our grenade stockpile, and also we're increasing our grenade stockpile, sorry, and replenishing one grenade every 60 seconds. Grabbing voice of command, my favorite. duty and honor for the team toughness buff. And this is where we're not going down here. So we're losing these two ranged damage buffs, Deadshot and Shock Trooper. But we are gaining Iron Will for increased toughness for ourselves. And we're keeping the two rending stacks. So this build loses Shock Trooper and Deadshot, but you are gaining the ability to have 3 crack grenades and be able to buff and heal your team with voice of command. But as you can see, with losing Shock Trooper, instead of taking a third of a magazine down a crusher, it takes about 2/4. But we do have the crack grenades now to be dealing with hordes of crushers. And this is the toss-up, really. Yes, with the Shock Trooper talent, you can kill 1 crusher in a third of a magazine. But on Aura Condemnation, do you want to be wasting your ammo trying to kill 1 crusher when you could crack grenade them and take out possibly an entire crusher pack if they're tight enough together? So it is really a toss-up between survivability and pure damage. So we'll just take a quick look at the talents again, because both these builds work very, very well. It's just all very dependent on what you want from your playstyle. So this is the voice of command. We'll just go down through this again. And then we'll switch back over to the Executioner stance version. This is giving you far more damage output, but it is limiting your survivability. But both builds work very, very, very well, which is why I'm very torn between them. And I use both of them. The Executioner stance build would take a point on this if Shock Trooper worked like it should do, which currently it doesn't. And also I don't like the fact that we haven't got Iron Will in this build. It's a very good talent and it's very underrated. But let's have a look at the weapons we're using. So we're using the Acadia Mark IV Assault Chainsword. This thing is just ludicrously good for like cleaving through hordes and basically dealing with anything. So we're going with Flak and Maniac damage on it, with Shred and Wrath. Shred to give us the crit chance on chained hits, and Wrath just to increase our cleave. So our light attacks will just be cleaving massively. And as for the Recon Lasgun, Headhunter and Infernus are the locked-in blessings that you really need on the gun. And as for perks, I would highly suggest Flak and Maniac, or Maniac and Crit, or Flak and Crit. And as for the curios, I'm currently using Toughness with Toughness Regeneration Speed, more Toughness and Combat Ability Regeneration. And I'm using that on all 3 of them, except for the blessings, which is a wound and increased health. If you want to, you can dump the wound out for more toughness, but I do prefer an even spread on the veteran. It just feels slightly better. But they're very player based at the moment, the curios, so you can pretty much use whatever you want, but I would suggest the perks as they are, as you are a toughness generating machine on this. So I wouldn't bother adding any health into the perk section, but a little bit more on the blessings can't go wrong, because there are some monsters that just ignore your toughness completely and chip through to your health. I would say you can quite happily lose a wound for more toughness, but I wouldn't lose the little bit of health just to give you that cushion. The weapon loadouts are the same for both builds. Use whichever one you prefer. And, let me know in the comment section which one you do. And we'll see if we can refine them. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And until the next video, take it easy, and I'll see you later.